What's up, everybody? Starting to do this video thing. It's gonna be a little adjustment to it. Look there. I remember having this situation happen. Let me see. Excuse me. So, welcome to this episode of That's Why I Love. Oh, sorry. The song's gonna be "That's Why I Love Dirt Roads" by Granger Smith. But before we get into it, welcome to the episode of The Music Never Stops. Gotta get my focus together, because usually when I'm doing audio only, it's like I kind of have my thoughts together on my journal, and then I kind of jump right into it. And today's circumstance, I'm trying to do this video, as you saw for yesterday, or if you haven't seen it yet, you can go to YouTube and watch me and Brian have our first conversation in a long time. And that was pretty cool. It was a success. I wasn't sure it was gonna be a success, but then I realized in that point, in that moment, I was like, man, if this thing doesn't work, then it's gonna suck, because we had a decent conversation. And now, if you're listening to audio only, cool. Thanks for tuning in. Hope you liked the episode. But we're gonna jump into this right away, and then I'll go on about why I chose this song. I've already done a Granger song, but I felt it necessary to do this song, and this song is the one that kind of hits home at the moment. And so yeah, just to cover my basis, is I own no rights to the song. Any songs that I play on here is purely for entertainment, purely for storytelling. I did get a mic. That's pretty rad. I'm pretty excited. It's totally different interaction now. And now, if I'm able to make these videos happen, then you can see me interacting, hopefully, with you, and then we can go from there. So for now, let's jump into That's Why I Love Dirt Roads by Granger Smith. Oh, what am I doing?
Midnight Milky Way through a cracked windshield. The highway's never known how free this feels. I learned to drive out here. My grandpa let me steer. I still hear both hands on the wheel. Talk to God on them. We get lost on them. Find our way to a rocky mountain top on them. We get stuck on them. Fall in love on them. Rough around the edges just like us. That's why I love dirt roads. Make the world turn real slow. Feel the gravel letting go and stir it up my soul. That's why I love running wild through country miles. They're out of style, they take a while, but every winding ride will lead me home. That's why I love dirt roads. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yeah. You never know what to expect or what's coming next when riding them dirt roads. The gravel and dust might throw you off. If I'm ready or not, only God knows. It's hard trying to hold it together when I lost a couple of people along the ride. Wish I could roll back the hands on the clock just to tell them I love you just one more time. I wasn't prepared for the pain that came. It had me tore up on the inside. But I can hear you on the side of me whispering softly, telling me not to cry. Just when I thought I was hopeless, you kept reminding me how you would never leave. And all of them people we lost had a place up in heaven, so make sure I get a seat. We go through some ups and downs and might even have a few curves we don't see. I end up at home every time, cause God got his hand on my life and he guided me, yeah.
That's why I love dirt roads. Make the world turn real slow. Feel the gravel letting go and stirring up my soul. That's why I love running wild through country miles. They're out of style, they take a while, but every winding ride will lead me home. That's why I love dirt roads. Talk to God on them. We get lost on them. Find our way to a rocky mountain top on them. We get stuck on them. Fall in love on them. Rough around the edges just like us. That's why I love dirt roads. Whoa, whoa, whoa. That's why I love dirt roads. That's why I love dirt roads.
And there you have it. That's Why I Love Dirt Roads by Granger Smith. Like I said, I've done a Granger song before. What song did I do before? Oh, okay. Oh, I know there's. I wanted to do 5 more minutes. Oh, I did Holler because that was back in September, and that was one of my cruising songs. When I get out of work and whatnot. But this song hits more home this week for me because I just recently lost my grandpa, and on the 1st, actually, January 1st, which was interesting because the podcast last week, and then Friday, I talked about the value of a dollar, and so I lost my grandpa on my dad's side. The story I gave about regret and the value of a dollar was my grandpa from my mom's side. And then I used the Live Now speech for New Year's Day, which is interesting because, everything that's gone on in my personal life, and then talking with Brian, and he knew what was going on, so, our conversation went the way it went anyway. It was going to anyways, but I feel like knowing what we know, and I'm not home right now, so that's another little, I'm not going to say a little factor, but that's another factor that's just playing into this whole situation. But that's what it is, and I'm continuing to go to work because for me, and this is kind of one of my first points of for today's podcast is what I do, what I've done, even over the past 10 years. What I've done over the past 10 years is the way I cope with losing someone is I work, and at some point, or at some, in different aspects, it's to a fault. I'll just work to a fault, and that's not the way it is, but that is the way that's the way it is for me. That's how I cope. Everybody copes differently. Some people need to go home, and I'm not saying I don't need to go home, but given my circumstances right now, it's like I'm not able to at this very moment. And I've tried to, I talked about yesterday, getting outside, going and being outside for an hour, getting out in the sun, communicating, talking. I FaceTime. I already FaceTime and talk with my parents on a regular basis because I'm not home. So it's like, whenever I do have time off, I do that. I make sure I have a block of time where it's like, hey, I'm gonna be on FaceTime and just talking. Sometimes we don't even talk. Sometimes we're watching a football game. When the World Series was going on, we were watching the World Series via FaceTime. We were watching, and it's funny because we're like checking what kind of delay there was on the TV, and the difference between the two different TVs, stuff like that. So sometimes it's not always just actually physically or audibly talking. Sometimes it's just being in each other's company, for the time we're able to, and given what happened, on the 1st, and here we are, now it's the 7th, the 8th. By the time you hear this, it's all fallen into place, and it's interesting because I know in the lyrics. So this song was written by Granger Smith was one of the songwriters on this song, but it was written by. It came out in technically came out in 2020. So there's really a regular version that came out, I think, in 2019, where it's just Granger by himself. But then, so my cousin Frank is actually the one who sent me this version with Lathan, Warlick, and there's a story, and I'll probably put in the show notes, as far as like how they met, and then getting him to do this, having him as a feature on this song. And it's a little more poppy because the acoustic instruments aren't as present, and so I think maybe that's why I was standoffish in the beginning. But then it's funny because over time this ended up being it actually ended up being my favorite version, even before all these events that have happened. On my top jams playlist and whatnot, it's this version that I prefer. And so it was written by Bradley Rempel, Chris DeStefano, John Nite, and Granger Smith. And like I said, it came out in 2020. It was on Country Things Volume 1. That came out earlier this year, technically earlier 2020 or mid 2020 when it came out. But when I was listening to it today, because I had already pre-recorded another episode that I'm kind of saving for a time that I can't record, and I need I need to be able to upload something, and I was like, you know what, I'll just use that this week. And then I was on my run today. And some of that I listen to, like, work. I talked about I'll listen to like heavy workout, heavy metal music when I work out and stuff. But today I just had music on, period, and I was going for my run. And in that first verse, there's a line that says, I learned to drive out here. My grandpa let me steer. I still hear both hands on the wheel. And for me, it hit home for both my grandpas, because I was able to be in the passenger seat with both of them, or in a truck or of some sort, or some of a vehicle, and it just there was no specific moment of memory for me at that moment, but given the circumstance, it reminded me of just being in a vehicle with my grandpa, because my grandpa was a truck driver, so that it's kind of in our blood. It really is, the whole concept of being on the road all the time and whatnot. I'm just doing it a different way, now, but so that was then, like, you know what, I'm just going to do a song. And as much as I'm trying to do one song per artist for now on this segment, I was like, you know what, forget it this time. I'll make my own, I'll break my own rule, make my own exception, and just run with it. So that was, I guess that's the second point I wanted to bring up. And I don't have much more than, I cope by working, and I do what I can. And this song brought me back to, like, hey, memories are good. And, as a part of the, and I even put that, cause I even used that Jocko, The Waves of Sorrow, where in the, technically given the spoken word, it's, a mother, father losing their child, no matter what. It could be for anything, it's not specific to any type of situation. But in this case, where it's losing a grandparent, I was like, yeah, this is a song. This is a song that it's relatable for me. Obviously, Granger has a bunch of good music. I'll tag the story as to how he got Lathan Warlick on this song, and then the video itself. It's really cool, because I'm pretty sure it's Granger's son and then Lathan's son that are on the video, and that's pretty cool, because it shows obviously two generations there in the video, and they're doing their thing, and it's pretty neat. But yeah, that's today. That's what's on the agenda for today. Trying to bring side tangent. I'm trying not to bring. I got to reacclimate to using a microphone, because my main thing is I like being able to kind of maneuver and do this thing, go around and use it properly. And the second thing is the quality of audio is going to be dramatically different for when I do it. But now, because of that, it's like I gotta start readjusting again, because when I was using a microphone back home and stuff originally, because you can hear me breathing in and out. It's like, oh, okay, I need to remember. I don't need to remember. I just need to regain my ability to take my breaths and speaking, and then not having too much popping going on and whatnot. This microphone's pretty neat. I talked about it a little bit yesterday. It's pretty cool. For now it's all USB, and then I have the headphones actually plugged into the microphone itself, so it's kind of a self-powering contraption that then I can record directly into the computer, which is pretty neat. But yeah, Granger has a knack for being able to, and even though this is a co-write, but even before, like, he has a song called 5 More Minutes. He has a song called That's What I Do With It. He has several songs that were my favorites prior to this one, and those are some of my top picks. But my point is, like, he's always had this knack for writing very, very personalized and personal for him, but then like he's able to, the way he writes, it personalizes it for the listener, and at least that's the way I take it. And Granger's a cool guy. I've actually I've had the opportunity to meet him, and his band's awesome. They're the A team, really. I mean, not the A team that you think of like as far as TV, but they're literally like, they're legit. They're professionals. They're really good at what they do. And Granger's like the foundation of the whole thing, and it's crazy. Like, between him and his team, as far as like, let's say management, like production team, like the ideas that they're able to come up with, the things they're able to do. Because then he has his videography, he has then he has a podcast going on too. Just the way it's awesome to see the way his ideas come to fruition, whatever. I'm not trying to correct myself right now, but you know what I mean. Like, he's able to make these ideas into literal reality. That's the cliche. Make your dreams into reality. But he's literally able to take these ideas or come up with these ideas, whether it's brainstorming or by himself, and knock them out, and then make them happen. And then, because my thing has always been like having top quality things. And for now, like, this is my quality of video, but I'm trying to improve my audio, because I feel like the audio's the most important. And eventually, hopefully, I can start dialing everything in. But even then, I'm still gonna be traveling and doing other things where there's just certain things that are gonna happen in between episodes and in between certain time periods for now, as long as I'm not living at home in Texas. But while I can, I will, I'm trying to post, because even I didn't forget that I need to post episodes today, or I need to post them by today so they can post for Thursday and Friday, but, or upload them today so they can post Thursday and Friday. But, it did slip my mind, obviously, because it wasn't at the forefront of my, my thinking. I was worried about, or I was concentrating on, not worried, but concentrating on, getting through my day. I needed to get a haircut. I needed to do something, do laundry, just simple things, just do things around the house, go do my workout real quick. My hour outside, go run and do what I need to do. And then I was talking to my parents, and it wasn't even until like towards the end of my conversation with my parents where I was like, oh, I need to get this stuff rolling, especially because this is going to be my first, dive into posting video via YouTube in a while. Like, I have the vlogs, and I have a lot of them on private right now, because it's like just personal stuff that if I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now, then it would have been fine. But because of my circumstances, it's just going to be, well, you obviously saw Brian on yesterday's episode, but like, the vlogging and stuff like that type of documentation, that day-to-day documentation, is definitely on pause. And these things that I bring in now, it's tied into, yes, work and business, but it's also just things that are going on in my life. And this is the only way I feel like I know how to do this, properly. This is the thing that always comes back at the end of the day, or even the month, where I'm like, dang, I need to start podcasting again, or I need to figure out how to get my hands on podcasting gear to start doing this again. So yeah, so that's been the deal as of late. But yeah, even when I got this mic, because my phone came in technically yesterday, so today's Tuesday, by the time you see this, it'll be Friday, but Monday was when this microphone came in, and I texted Brian like, hey dude, let's I want to test this thing out, and and also like learn how to use Zoom, because that's what we used for the recording. And it's pretty cool, because when we talked about it, briefly here and there, but it's like, Zoom was so easy to use. And for me, it was like, the kicker for me was just being able to have a microphone that can give the best quality audio to the listener via podcast apps, and then now hopefully getting these episodes on YouTube for as like I said, as many as I can, as long as I can. Like Tim Ferriss and them, they upload like audio only. Like Bill Burr does it too, where it's like an audio only thing. It's like it's not bad, but they also have they have their reputation. They've already built up their stuff, so I feel like I have to mix it a little bit. I don't necessarily have to do like 100% one way or the other, but I need, like, my goal for this year is like, okay, let me just make moves to improve with the gear I have, but then, if there's little things that I feel like I need to do, hence the mic, then I'll do that. But yeah, that's what I got for today. That's a good little stopping point for today. I hope you all enjoyed this episode. I hope you all enjoy the song. If you haven't heard before, cool. Hopefully it's a new song that you can add to your jams list. If not, maybe it's a song that'll take you back on a little journey of your own. Yeah, I'm looking forward to trying to continue this, and you can always catch me on the show notes. You can always catch me, so show notes, so at movingwithlife_podcast for Instagram. The email is podcast.millennial@gmail.com. Obviously, always open for conversation. My idea for my planning seems to be good, so I'm gonna try to run with it the way I'm doing it right now. And the only point that I'm bringing now is like that planning, because I have an idea, because of the idea I'm running off of, is then helping me hopefully have just a better episode and podcast. So hope you all have a great weekend. I hope that you get some sun, you get some fresh air, maybe a fresh cup of coffee, sit outside. I know it's been cool here where I'm at. I know it's cool back at home in Texas, South Texas. So hopefully you're getting outside, getting some fresh air, and just enjoying each other's company. So yeah, hope you have a good one. We'll see you all very soon.
That's why I love dirt roads.